Hi, welcome to Radio Louisiana. This is Kevin St. Marie. We are here with
Shannon Cooper.
Shannon Cooper. Get a little closer to your mic. Shannon, where are you originally from?
I'm originally from Panama City, Florida.
Really?
Absolutely.
Okay. What made you come here to Louisiana?
I'm married military, and when we retired, my mom was sick and passed by Louisiana. It was like living in Mayberry. So I stayed. Who doesn't want to live in Mayberry?
Okay. Well, today I met you.
Yep.
For the first time. And I met you through a mutual friend on Facebook that shared a post from a flood victim group on Facebook.
Yep.
And, I'm glad I did, because, y'all helped. I mean, y'all probably helped well over 200 people.
Oh, yeah, today alone, but in the Louisiana areas we've helped more than 10,000 people.
Right.
So we're moving about 1,000 a day. This one that we opened up today did over 200.
Yeah.
But tomorrow, once the TV comes out and the radio broadcast, we're going to be up there, 1,000 to 2,000 tomorrow. We're going to see those numbers tomorrow.
Why do you think so many people are finding you?
I think people are finding me because of the fact that they can put a face with a situation and they want to help.
Right.
When you just say we're flooding, we really don't take the time to think about, water's rising in Louisiana, but my face allows them to say, hey, you know what, this is a lady and this is a real story, and she reached out and she used her resources and got some things done, so they can apply a face instead of just saying Youngsville is flooding, Louisiana's flooding. People are losing their homes.
Right. So today, when I saw what you did, I shared it on quite a few different Facebook pages. I think it was like 10 different Facebook pages that I have the ability to share stuff like that on. One of them was Live and Local, one of them was Radio Louisiana, and you don't know anything. You didn't have a clue of any of that. And half of the people you're meeting, you don't have a clue who they are, what they're doing, or what they're affiliated with. And
I don't. When they pull up, I don't know who they are.
How do you feel to see so many people want to help?
I just feel like amazing. Like the man that come out there today and gave us $5,000 to do supplies with, and it was just donated from somebody anonymous. People of all groups, and when they pull up, I have no idea who they are, but they're jumping out of their cars and helping. And United Way come out, and they're just pitching in, and they're helping. And it's pretty amazing. It just, sometimes I cry about it, and then sometimes I'm completely happy, and it's overwhelming. And sometimes when they leave, I still don't know exactly who they are, and then 25 minutes later, I'll figure out who they are and go, oh my gosh.
Right.
And then they'll come back and do it some more.
It was kind of interesting to me today. One of the guys that was volunteering, he made that comment about, he says, I met you took a picture of me in downtown live one time, and I said, really? He says, yeah. He says, you walked up to me and he says, do you know who you're standing next to? And I said, no. He says, well, you should take a picture. Give me your phone and I'll take a picture of both of y'all so y'all can both get to know each other better. And he says, I'll never forget that. And it reminded me of that moment, because it was a musician that I know, and he was there and he was in the band, and he doesn't get all the glory, but he's a great musician.
Yeah.
And I was like, you need to meet this man. So, and that's one of the things I do a lot. And when I started to see, one of the things we do is tell people where to find things in Acadiana.
Yes.
So whenever it started happening to me, I started to see the overwhelming part of how many people were affected, and I was like, okay, how many people do I actually know that were affected too?
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, and I would drive around and I was looking at all these issues, and I started to see how many people were being helped already, but it wasn't from people. The National Guard helps.
Yes.
Without a doubt.
But their main job is to rescue.
And and like yesterday in Gaydon, dropping the sandbag. If they didn't have that, it would be bad.
Yeah.
It'd be a lot worse than it is, and but I'm seeing residents. From the moment they knew that that it was even happening a little bit, they were working, and it's impressive, but it's also like, wow.
Yeah.
And as a guy, look, I'm usually in my office. I was in my office the whole time it rained. I was watching what everybody was posting online. I was like, I really wish I could be there for all these people at the same time.
It's not real if it's not affecting you. When it was happening to me, I was just inconvenienced that it was messing with my internet. And then 45 minutes later, it was happening to me, and it was real.
Right.
And it was serious.
Yeah.
And, coming out of it, you really got to get up and do something. And these things will devastate you to where you feel like you can't come back from it. And I hit those moments, and that's when I was like, I'm not going down like this, and I'm not going to let my neighbors go down like this. And it put me, I'm going to do something.
Yeah.
And now I see a lot more people coming out doing stuff. As the TV starts airing it, I see more smaller venues setting up all over the place, and it just really makes my heart warm because they're getting up and they're acting. And that's what you need to do.
Right. We didn't even plan to do this.
No.
This just happened.
Yeah.
I mean,
right place, right time.
We were putting trash in my vehicle, and another guy had trash by the dumpster, and they didn't want to just leave it there because they're so, generously giving them the building to use for this effort to take place that I was like, look, it's a couple bags. I'm going to throw these away. I was like, why don't you just follow me? And this happened. So I'm glad it happened.
Yeah, me too.
Before we even talk about anything else, I want to say thank y'all. I know that y'all been affected personally.
Yeah.
And thank y'all for everything you are doing and everything that you're going to do. Because I know you're not going to stop.
No.
And it's going to continue. And clearly to me, it's almost like a God's calling because literally you had no idea this was going to happen to you. Nobody in Acadiana knew this was going to happen to you. So, like you said today, I wish I could have helped, you more. I said, you don't think like that. You go into tomorrow and say, what can I do today?
Yeah.
And that's why I made that comment. It's true.
Yeah.
What else can we do? So, tell me how this started for you.
I was sitting in my house. Like I said, I was inconvenienced by the lights flickering and the internet. And went to take a nap. I knew there was some flooding around us, and we do live by Vermilion River. So we kind of took shifts making sure that the water wasn't rising, and we just intended to get out. In just moments, we heard noises outside,
right,
and water come rushing in. And our entire neighborhood started running towards higher land, which is my front yard. And it looked like they were running from a gun, and a National Guard was in the front yard already. So we know that they knew the levee was going to break or had some ideas because they weren't psychic that, they just show up at the perfect time. They weren't right in the neighborhood. They literally showed up in front of that levee. So, people had been working on it during the day, and I think they knew, and they came with boats, and they were fully prepared to evacuate us at that moment. Or we could have had some 911 calls coming out because obviously the river rose in the back first.
Right.
So, we boarded those Humvees, and thank God we made those decisions because later on it became a total from rescue mode to, Maurice has got airboats in its underwater area. So, and that road stayed shut off for a while. We boarded onto those Humvees and were dropped off on drier land. When I say that, unfortunately, drier land was in Abbeville at the Red Cross shelter that was now taking on water. Abbeville had pretty much become like an island because Vermilion runs from my yard across 167. There's no in or out over there, and we already had flooding in the other areas.
Right.
So
you live in Abbeville.
I live in Maurice.
Okay, you live in Maurice.
Off 167. Okay. Abbeville is just like 4 minutes down the road. So behind me is Lafayette Parish, and the other side of me is Abbeville. So I'm right there at those cutoff points for those two parishes coming together. We were dropped off, and when we got to American Red Cross, you could just see it in the woman's face that this whole entire neighborhood was dropped in our lap, and she wasn't ready. And she wasn't ready because it happened in just 45 minutes. My heart just went out to her, and we started trying to figure out what are we going to do. There's a bad situation here. We knew we were in trouble with the situation. So we all started pretty much jumping in trucks. This area's got taking water. We got in anybody's truck that would take us. And we loaded up with a landscaping crew. And the other one's just anybody we could flag that was coming through the area that was already really bad flooding. We knew that we were in an area that we'd just seen some bad flooding. And here we are standing in water again. It was scary. So we loaded and come down to Highway 14 and just got dropped off at the Motel 6. And from there, we rolled through those emotions with 40 of our friends and neighbors and Youngsville. We were all stuck in there, and it's pouring. And, hours went on. There's no stores open. Everything's shut off. The National Guard's next to us, but they can't lend any type of aid after hours because they're still on a rescue mission. I didn't even have shoes on my feet. And baby started crying, and we knew we needed food. I could last a while, but infants really can't last that long. And more infants died from Katrina from lack of formula than anything else. I knew that we had to get busy. First, we hit those spirals of we're all crying and freaking out, and you could see people going, my life is over. And I felt those moments. And then I looked around, and I was like, not today. This just isn't happening. So I had a lot of friends, and I have a website that I do. And I got out and told them I lost my home. And I needed help. I had 42 people in Motel 6, and we had some babies that needed food, and that there was no resources, and we were trapped. By 1 o'clock in the morning, we had boats coming in across water that you couldn't get in, delivering me formula and diapers, and then people on foot. And by 6 o'clock in the morning, all the hotels around us were waking up to food that from the cries that we put out, and it was being answered. By 12 o'clock in the afternoon, I had so much stuff there that I had put it to everything. I'd sent it to the Red Cross, and sent it to the National Guard. I sent it to everybody that needed supplies that couldn't get it because I had a flow of it that I couldn't handle. By 2 o'clock, I knew I had to call somebody, so I called Abbeville and spoke to the fire chief over there and said, hey, you really need to come down here. I have what you need, and if you don't think you need it, you're going to need it in a few days. And I said, I need a building. And he asked me, how much more can I get? And I said, I got 7 trucks coming now, and I need to move it. So they opened a facility very quickly, which is now the Stage Center in Abbeville. And they're running that, and it's a ginormous center. And for a few days, I was over there doing it, as well as other cities were reaching out to me, or parishes. You can tell I'm from Florida. Come on. Parishes were reaching out to me. And, I just started outsourcing resources to them because people could apply my face, so they were giving me what I needed. And they didn't want to stop. So when we got finished with that building, we put in other ones in other areas, and we gave them supplies. And then this week we come over to Lafayette and open another one. So I'm on my 3rd facility so far, and we're going to open a few more over the next few days and really take care of Louisiana. And we're going to do that until everybody's safe. One thing I really want to drive is, even though we're in rescue and we're all out here, for the flood victims that lost their homes, we're not going to go back to normal. And when the lights go out and people turn off the cameras and their microphones and the water stops flowing into Louisiana, it's going to get worse for us. Because then we have to really face the reality that we're on our own, and we have to do it. So we just really got to keep this going and get everybody out of the clear. Not just today because the water rose and we still see it on the roadway, but when it dries up, our family's needs are great. And we need to take them through it. And we don't need to stop it just today. They're going to have needs that need to be met for months to come. And until FEMA can really get in place and start helping us, and the American Red Cross get in here and really start helping us, we need to just hang tight and keep together and keep things going and keep supplies coming to Louisiana and keep everybody fed and clothed and know that they're not alone.
Yeah. How long have y'all been set up on 413 West Woodward's Drive?
It's crazy because yesterday someone said, hey, I got a building. And I thought, oh, I'll come over and check it out. And 15 minutes later, I had semis coming up. And I had supplies coming in and volunteers rolling through the door. And when I left the house, I kind of was resting from, being at Abbeville for so long. Right. I was exhausted. And I'd kind of stepped out of it for the moment and was able to do some side work, just resourcing out. And I thought, I'll just send some resources to the center. And then when I got over there, I realized this neighborhood had a great need. So yesterday, we've already fed and clothed a lot of this community. And I figure we're going to hit thousands tomorrow. We're allowing other parishes to come over. We're not just saying, hey, Lafayette Parish. We're saying if you're in need and you are a flood victim, you come.
Yeah.
and we're going to get you what you
one
need.
of the things that, while we're putting all these things in vehicles today, literally, I wish, the one thing that hit me the most was that if they know somebody or they were in their neighborhood that was flooded, their neighbor does too. It's probably very, very rare that they're not friends on Facebook unless they just don't like their neighbor.
Yep.
So, I mean, if they tell somebody on Facebook, hey, I just left this place, they helped me.
Yes. It's going to spread.
You should probably come see too, because I'm sure people were like, "What's going to happen?" Because there's no telling what these people are going around looking for need, and there is no need.
Yeah.
So it's almost like they're kind of like, man, these guys are really coming at and helping us.
Yes.
This is a very rare, and they're like, okay, I've got 2 families, and they're bringing it to the neighbor. It's probably an interesting situation that you see. Like today, I was like, I wanted to tell everybody, man, go tell your neighbor that this is happening and what the address is.
Yes.
So
even if we make them less scared that they're not alone.
Well,
that's good.
I mean, just the fact that you lost everything. Your life is not great right now, but you know what? We're here and we want to help you.
Yeah, and for them to get to know firsthand that we're sitting out there and we've lost our homes and we're with you, we're going to take you through this, and you're not alone.
Right.
Is an amazing thing. Just from the Motel 6, my neighborhood, while I'm over here helping others, those churches are coming out and making sure that Derrick Road and Maurice is taken care of. And that makes me rest easy because now I'm not over there having to do it on my own. My neighborhood's eating. My neighborhood has water coming into it, and I'm not having to send it. I'm over here helping other parishes, and they're going and returning the favor and taking care of our neighborhood, making sure we have hot foods because we need it. We can't cook. We can't run water because it's destroyed. We're so limited that we just can't do anything.
And you don't really, if you've never been in it, I mean, you also have smells involved with this situation.
Absolutely.
And literally, there's a lot of people that have never been in those situations to understand, and it's not like tomorrow you go back to normal. It's a situation where, you're like, okay, this is definitely going to be here for at least a month.
Well, no, we're looking at probably a year to put our life back together.
Right. Well, but the trash in the street even, I mean...
it's going to be there a while.
Yeah, it's, because, I remember going into New Orleans, like, a week right after Katrina, looking around going, this is a war zone.
Yes.
So, just, it's a visual,
Yes.
And you could take 1,000 pictures of it, but when you're standing right there and you're dealing with it, it's unexplainable. It's not possible to explain. So it's... I guess what I want to say is that, looking at what y'all are doing, looking at the need for support, like today we ran out of supplies.
Right.
There was a bucket and we looked at each other and we were like, okay, there's no supplies left.
Right.
But when you're a person looking at your home and you've got no supplies to do anything and you're going into stores and they're gone.
Right.
You're thinking, okay, what controls this?
Right.
So thank a trucker.
Right.
I'm going to tell you right now, if we didn't have them, we'd be really messed up.
And we don't think about them, but they're on those roads getting us those supplies, and they're volunteering their time, their gas, their money. They are not paid to do this.
Right.
Those 18-wheelers that are rolling in our city are committed. We got Kit that does load this truck, and, they're committed to getting us, even if it costs them money.
Yeah.
So,
like the guy last night,
yes.
Mr. Pugh, Jason Pugh. Came here from Alabama, had a bunch of people. They stopped at Baton Rouge, they reloaded, and came back here. He's paying for the gas on that.
Right, we had one drop this morning from New York.
Jason Pugh's a hell of a driver, by the way.
Yeah.
I saw watch this guy drive around a couple of corners last night. I said, this guy's good. So,
we had one this morning that first thing I walked in, I thought, oh my gosh, how am I going to get some supplies? And an 18-wheeler come rolling up, and I thought, oh my gosh, I got to unload that, and I'm by myself. Okay. And then I made a call out on Facebook for people, and we didn't even need a forklift because we had enough people arrive that we were able to do it ourselves and get him rolling. And he was from New York, and he heard about me out of Baton Rouge. You need to go see this girl and help her. And he drove right on over with his supplies. Yeah. So we're reaching everywhere.
Yeah. And everybody that showed up to help the volunteer, trust me, they need it. If you see 1,000 volunteers and you're driving by, don't just keep driving by. Show up, because what you don't think about is that there's volunteers that are tired. Because when I got there, that guy, I can't remember his name right offhand, but he was exhausted.
Yeah, some of them have been out there since 9 a.m.
I said, just give me one sentence brief of what you're doing so I get it down, and you can go home.
Right. And they're
Yeah.
exhausted, and they put in a lot of
Yeah.
hours of their time for free. And, you know, we had victims come up this morning.
Because what happens is you see the need and you don't want to stop, and you're like, they don't want to stop.
No.
And if nobody shows up, they're not going to stop.
Right. We had
So-
victims pull up this morning
Right.
and say, "Can I help?" And I was like, "Sure, you know, I'm a victim too. Get out. You can make a
Right.
difference and feel better. Take your mind off of it."
Yeah.
And they got out and they worked all day long. And before
Yeah.
they left, they were smiling and they were saying, "You know, we were together on this." When they felt very alone, their faces change when they show up, and then when they leave, it's different.
Yeah.
They've got something to relate to and people that are going to help them get through it. But
Right.
yet, we need those supplies. We need them to keep coming in because,
Yeah.
you know, I can only keep doing what I'm doing as long as everybody keeps bringing me those supplies.
I'm going to write your number and what I put this on, and please say it for anybody listening in another. I don't. You know, we do have a following in Europe. We have a following in Germany. We have a following in Sweden, Belgium. Tell them your number.
You know, my number is 253-34.
I mean, unless any contact information, email, anything. You know?
Shannon Cooper, 253-343-7690. You can call me. You also can go to Shannon S. Cooper 122 at gmail.com. And if you want to help, there's ways to help us even if you're in Germany. And if you have family over here, it could have been your grandmother. It can be anywhere. You can help. Go there and I will point you in the right direction. I'm looking for families to adopt families. And what I mean by that is to help them get through it long term, even if it's just by talking to them or helping them meet some just daily needs. Like today I needed shoes. The ones I had broke. And you can help in so many ways. You know, Georgia, my 12-year-old stepson loaded trucks from the local fire department. He was going to have his mom drive it over to us. And instead the fire department said, "We're going to get the whole state of Georgia to help you. And we're going to send it on your behalf."
Right.
And they're headed here Friday. So Georgia's on their way. Today, North Carolina come over just to meet me and give me diapers because they knew I needed diapers and formula. So there's things you can do. You don't have to drive over. Just if you don't do anything, I can't do what I'm doing. So if you get up and act and help me, we can get things done.
Okay. And once again, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And thank you very much. So, I mean, really, and thank you for coming in here and, you know,
It's pretty cool.
yeah. I mean, everything that y'all are doing is even cooler.
Oh, thanks. It's pretty fun in a weird way.
Anything we could do to help you get the word out, we will be happy to. And we hope other people hear this and call you and say, "Hey, we have a bigger reach. Come in here.
Absolutely.
Talk to us." You know, I mean, that's why I'm doing this.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it because I want you to like it on Facebook. I want you to listen to it, and I want you to share it with somebody that might be able to help them even more.
And get up and act.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Act because we need the help.
Right.
And, you know, there's going to be a point where I've tapped out the local areas all the way to Baton Rouge. And I'm going to need those outside states to keep us going and to keep everybody healthy and happy and not overflow our hospitals because we don't have enough first aid to send out to them or because I don't have enough water or formula to keep those babies from getting sick. We're not going to have another Katrina on my watch. We're going to make sure everybody's doing good, even though Katrina was something we could expect. And now the biggest flood in a very long time. We didn't expect it either.
Yeah. And it's 10 days after.
Yes.
It's 10 days after, and we're still saying this.
Yes.
And we're still seeing.
We're still in
it.
shock.
So
It's unreal what we see.
if you see something on the news, we're telling you 10 days later there still isn't.
Yeah, I drove down Bro Bridge the other night just by accident, and I was just stopped in the middle of the road and thought, how can this be?
Yeah.
You know?
I absolutely agree. And once again, thank you very much. Thank
Thanks.
everybody for listening, and if you can help anyway, we will be putting it on the website. We'll put it on the Facebook page, and if you can't help, do it. And show up, volunteer.
Yep.
You know, if you see 30, like I said, they would be more than happy to have 40.
Yes.
You know, because somebody might need to use the bathroom. Somebody might, you know, and that's true.
Yeah.
It really is true. And you don't realize it until you see it. And,
Yeah.
you know, and the only thing that's going to happen is more love will
Yeah.
be spread in this community.
And you'll feel good.
So, and you will. You really do.
Yeah.
You know, go work on your fitness and volunteer.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks.
Thank everybody for helping
Yeah.
so far. And they are located, where we were today was 413 Coolidge Drive. in Lafayette, Louisiana.
Right.
Is there any other addresses that you know of?
No, that's the one right now
Okay.
that needs. But they all need. So if you don't make it to the location I'm at, make it to a location.
Okay.
So if you're over in Abbeville, go help them. You know, that's my baby over there. If you're in Burr Bridge, oh, do it. If you're in St. Martinville and you think that there's not a way for you guys to get help, get on Facebook, just get a tent, ask somebody to give you a building, call me up, and I will get you the resources over there. All you got to do is get up off the couch and go help, and I will make sure that I get you the resources, because there's only one of me and I can only go so far. But if one of you will just be my community warrior, join my team, we'll get St. Martinsville taken care of, we'll get Crowley taken care of, we're going to get Burr Bridge taken care of, and we're just going to keep spreading the love. It's one love. It's us, community warriors.
Okay. Thank you once again.